till you're actually live, right?
There,
So
there,
yeah,
there's there's
I think
someone
we're go.
there's someone I went live with a podcast on. It's like back in November, and it was just like, okay, I'm just gonna do the quick countdown, and then we'll be in the show. I'm like, okay, no problem. 20, 19, 18. I'm like, Jesus, I would have left by now, and I'm in the show. Like, who's sticking around to see any of this? But we're
Yeah,
here now, Rex, and that's what
yeah,
matters most.
we're here. So it's good to be back. This is the eighth episode of What the Heck is a Brand, and I haven't done a show since December. So all of January I spent, away from home in Arizona. And I brought my desktop computer with me and everything, right? Because I didn't even have a laptop back then. I mean, I have this like monster workstation. And yeah, it was a pain. But anyway, that kind of like put a hankering in the live stream. So we're back.
We're back now. He's got his blue and his purple, and it's like it's a beautiful setup he has. I'm so jealous of Rex's setup. I gotta get that lighting here. The natural light. I've been told by my videographer, don't do natural light because natural light, the sun changes and there might be a cloud that passes, and then when you're recording a 20-minute video, all the lighting changes. So go to a place where you can
Yeah.
control the light. I'm like, oh, that's brilliant. If I didn't have you, I don't know what I'd be doing.
Yeah, that's super funny. So I'm like in a basement, right? You're talking about like you've got this solarium, right? Windows all around you, trees, right?
All the
So
lights.
I'm in the basement, but it's a full walkout basement to my big yard and like trees back there, right? And it's awesome. But yeah, same thing. I've got all of my windows closed and it's just
Yeah.
like,
So
nope,
you can
all
control the light.
artificial light.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so funny story. I mean, we're talking about video today, right? So if you're here watching the show, Nick and I are brand guys, designers, and we really like to get our message and our brand out through video, right? So that's
Yes,
why
we
we're here
do.
doing a live stream. And honestly, like video content was one of the things that like kind of like fully flicked me into like changing up my brand, right? So
Yeah.
my brand used to be red, like everything was
I
red.
remember. I
I was
remember
like
that.
I was the red guy, right?
I remember that.
And
Yeah.
like on video, like replicating red is super, super difficult,
Yep.
especially when you're doing it live, right? So if you're
Yep.
doing it in post processing, you can get it right. But so back there, I've got a tube light, right? That one's
Yep.
pink. And then I've got another one that's blue. I've got another pink one right here giving me this side,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
pink, right? And like
Yeah.
that used to all be red. And it was
Yeah.
so hard to get
Yeah.
red to not look orange or too
Or
yellow or
pink.
whatever, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? Like, I'm just going full RGB, spacey, psychedelic, pink,
it's
purples,
also it's
blues.
also
It's
hard on
fun.
the eyes. Like I have my RGB lights downstairs for all my like YouTube shorts and YouTube stuff, and it's just like red is very intense. Like it's just you just feel like you're in like this horrible chamber, and you're like, I can't be around this. But yeah, this will be we're gonna drop our Amazon affiliate links in here later, guys, where you can just pick up all the RGB lights that we use, and so we'll make a commission on that. So if you like what you
Yeah.
see here, then just go buy Rex's lights, go buy Nick's lights.
Yeah, if you don't want to look like that and you want to look more like this,
Wow. Okay.
we'll leave some
I
links so you
am
can buy all
never
the stuff.
coming back on this show again. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Yeah, no, dude. So LinkedIn is popping off. Super
Yeah, that's
fun
nice to see.
yeah, the comments. So over here on Restream, I think if you can probably see it too over there on the right.
I'm
There's a
so
little.
glad to see everybody here. Deb, my girl's here. Deb is just like my favorite human being in the world right now.
Dude, I just
And
connect with Deb, and she's super awesome. She's
she is.
like
She's
the biggest Nick
incredible.
fan in the world, right? And it's like really fun. It's like it speaks volumes to who you are as a creator, right? Because like Deb just has nothing but like awesome stuff to say about you. So
And it goes both ways too. Deb is incredible, and every time I jump on a new call with someone and we're talking about content, I'm like, well, have you connected with Deb Curtis, because she pretty much owns LinkedIn for the last 6 months, and yeah, she's just such a great person to work with, and I'm honored to work with clients like that, and just share their message to the world, because that's what content creation is all about. That's what video content is all about. Deb is actually, I'm so glad she's here, because she's a great example of, and we're going to get into this, you and I, Rex, and the power of video content as part of your overall mission and as part of your overall strategy to build your brand up and to attract the right customers to you. If you're doing a video or two videos a week and they're good and they're on LinkedIn or they're on any of your other social channels, if you're doing a video or two videos a week, you're good. I don't need you to do more than that. That there's no, you got to be posting every day, 9 videos from morning till night. There's none of that. Don't listen to the, yes, consistency is great. We'll get into
the
that. But
Gary V that says you have to put out 100 videos a day.
exactly, and he's got an army around him recording his every move. Right? We can't all do that. But if you're doing a video or two a week, you are good. right? I'd be happy to see that level of commitment and that consistency and that output from you. For those of us who aren't doing that, this is for you. What Rex and I are about to talk about is for you. So stick around, because we're gonna teach you some things for sure, and you're gonna get a ton of value out of, I think, what we have to say.
I mean, mostly we're just meeting for the first time on video and just like hanging out and broadcasting it live to the world, right? And like really what we want to talk about is the power of video, and then kind of how to leverage
Yeah.
that, right? Because
Yeah.
there's so many ways to do it, right? So with a lot of the clients that I do video production for, I will go out to their facility and I'll record them, and we'll usually spend like 1, maybe 2 days together is all, right? And in those 2 days, I can get enough video content to be kicking out an anchor video every single week, and then micro videos for social based on that anchor video every day if we wanted to, right? Now, whether or not they want to like execute on that level is a different story, right? But like in one day or 2 days of like putting a concerted effort into like recording video and creating video content, you can have a year's worth of video, right? And it's hard because that doesn't allow you much leverage, right? To be like reactionary to things going on, right? Because like you spent one day and like recorded everything for a year, right? But it gives you a basis to work off of, and then you can feed that with kind of new content as you go. So it's a really cool way to just get out a ton of content with not a huge amount of effort.
Yeah, and for those who think I can't even begin to fathom that, I don't even know where to start. I just want to put you in the right mindset as to why Rex and I believe in video content so much. Unless you have found a way to clone yourself, and if you have, share it with us, because I want that technology. Not that we need more Nicks in the world. I just need more, like, me spreading my message. I don't necessarily want to interact with more of me, because one's enough. I know. I'm self-aware enough to know that. Unless you have found a way to clone yourself and be in every room with everybody all the time, video content is going to make the fastest connection for people everywhere. It will be shared more than any graphics or any of your written word posts. It will be loved more. It will be probably commented on a lot more. And I can already hear the detractors and the naysayers saying, well, video doesn't pop off on my LinkedIn as much as like graphics in my work. It's because for the last 10 years, you've only done those two and you haven't recorded a video yet. And the one time you did, it got 3 likes and that's all you did, right? But as people start to familiarize themselves with your face, moving, talking, maybe subtitling it so they can read along. And the power of subtitles is just so, I won't even put a video out, Rex, unless I put it through Subtitle or some other subtitling software, because people like to read along. I don't know how many times my phone defaults to no sound and I'm just reading along with what people say and absorbing their message that way.
Yeah, isn't that mind-blowing? That like, I don't know, like we're just conditioned to like do stuff with no sound. Like my wife will sit there all day, no sound, watching videos. I'm like, how are you watching videos with no sound? Like every sound designer out there is like dying inside. Like, oh, I spent an hour on the sound.
Please turn your volume up, people. You're killing me. But yeah, no, video is the fastest, most instant way to make a connection with someone. And doing it more and more means more connections, more of those touch points, right? So it's the fastest way to get your message out there. If you can distill it down into 1 minute or less, then you have what is, I believe, a content strategy, because TikTok loves 1 minute or less. YouTube Shorts loves 1 minute or less. Reels loves 1 minute or less. So you talked about repurposing and recycling, Rex, 2 seconds ago. You record me a video and you subtitle it, and you can get a message across, a thought across in 59 seconds or less, and you record it as 9:16, the aspect ratio of 9:16 tall. That works on TikTok, that works on Reels, and that works on YouTube Shorts. So boom, you just hit 3 places. It will then work on Facebook and LinkedIn. It'll just be slimmer as it shows up in the feed. So there, I just gave you a content strategy for your next video. Hit it, put it in 5 places. Make sure it's a minute or less. Go get it subtitled. Make sure it's 9:16 aspect ratio. There, you have a content strategy where you can show up in the big 5 all across social media. And now you've just 5x'd your fucking, like, your presence on the internet.
Yeah, and one of the cool things is, like, I think people are intimidated by video, right? They're like, I gotta have this. I gotta have the lights and the cameras and the sound and everything. It's like, you don't need that, right? Like, what people really care about, I mean, this helps, right? Like, is it better to look at a good looking video? Yeah, it is. But like in this day and age, like TikTok especially has showed us that like people recording cell phone videos,
raw,
shaking around, raw, like whatever, is like is awesome, right? So you can not have technology be that standing block that's like standing in your way of creating video content, right? So if COVID taught us anything, it's that everybody pretty much anymore is used to being on video calls. We're used to talking into a webcam because we all went remote, right?
Yeah.
So one of the cool things that I've started doing is like when you're on calls with people, like you're talking about their business, you're talking about your business, or you're just hanging out with people, right? Like start recording those calls. You'll have a 30-minute conversation and you'll be able to make, I don't know, 25, 30 of those short 30-second, 60-second videos to
Yeah.
post on all the social media platforms, right? It's
Yeah.
like you're already creating content, you just don't
Yeah.
know it.
That is an interesting byproduct of the pandemic, that Zoom blew up and the market share of Zoom just skyrocketed because everyone was using it. The amount of webcam sales on Amazon and little like these microphones, where is it? These types of Rode mic, desk mic,
Yeah.
snowball mics, whatever, Yetis, things like that. The amount of webcam and microphone sales between March 2020 and like I guess March 2022 must have been incredible. An amount of commerce that even Amazon could have never ever imagined, right?
Yeah.
But we all got better. We all got better at video stuff. We got more comfortable. Yeah, it's easier when you're talking to someone live, like you and I are. You're talking into your phone when you're recording a video, but you're still halfway there, right? You had to kind of get comfortable with being on camera, being talking into a camera, right? Not talking into a screen. So this pandemic sort of, anyone who works digitally sort of got galvanized and sort of
Mm-hmm.
just sharpened their axe on video. And so the fact that you're still not, if you're watching us now and you're still not doing video content, you're just, I honestly, it sounds like I'm parroting everyone else out there. You are missing out, and you are missing a massive part of your overall marketing strategy. I truly believe that.
Well, and I think it goes beyond that, right? Not only are you missing out on this incredible opportunity to have people hear your voice and see your face and establish you with your message, right? I mean, I think that's the biggest part of video branding, right? Is like you're talking about video or you're talking about design or whatever you're talking about, people are going to associate that so much faster than if you just post about it, right?
Oh yeah.
There's people that are famous, LinkedIn famous, right? That I have no idea what they actually look like in real life, and I have no clue what they sound like, right?
Oh,
And
I
like,
think I know who you're talking about.
I mean,
I
there's
know a few
there's
of
a ton of
Yeah,
them though,
there's
right?
a ton of them.
And
Yeah.
just like people that just don't get on video, right? And I think right now you can get away with that, especially on LinkedIn. LinkedIn's like 5 years behind, I think, on like implementing video content into the platform, but they're changing, right? They're making active changes to the algorithm. They're making changes to the metrics of how you can understand who is interacting with your videos, who is seeing them. 2 months ago, it was crap. Right. And
Yeah.
even 2 months later, it's like infinitely better. Now you've got video carousels that I'm super mad about that I still don't have access to because I made a super baller one and it didn't work. And I was like,
Yeah.
no,
Rex
but
Rex was
like,
the pioneer for me. I didn't know that existed, and you showed me. And I'm like, oh my god, video
yeah, but it
carousel.
didn't work. Right. So
No.
that's supposed to like show up actually like in a carousel with slides. So I
Right. Okay.
recorded 10 different like individual videos. And then I went to post it and it didn't work. And I was like, no, I don't have access to this new feature. Right. So LinkedIn is constantly like releasing new video features in beta. And
Hmm.
then depending on how LinkedIn famous you are, you get access to them earlier. And you would think with how much video content I put out there that I would have got access to it. But alas, I did not.
Just patience, Rex. You'll
But
get there.
yeah, I mean, I'm pretty convinced that like if you're not making videos today as a part of your social media, you're going to get left behind in a year.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the comments here is really brilliant. TikTok, is this a must? Nothing is a must. Nothing is a must. However, those of us who have already tapped into the power of it, and not just TikTok, but like just video marketing, like video on social media. I'm starting to dive harder into my TikTok strategy. My TikTok videos will show up on LinkedIn. I have no shame of the little watermark floating around. I have no
No.
shame. I think they're good. I think they're funny. I think it shows a facet of me. It shows one of my values of transparency, and I like to entertain, right, as best I can. So as a potential client, like at least he'd be funny to work with. Do you know what I mean? At least he'd be a good time. He's not
I don't
some
know how
guy.
good it is, but he's fun.
Exactly. I don't know if he can make a logo or not, but I'll give him a shot because it seems funny. On TikTok, the three pillars that I have seen that do very, very well are educational,
Hmm.
right? So I follow everyone from guys who will show you how to play guitar chords. All right, you do this one, and then that's that sound. they'll show you how to like build things, fix things. There's a doctor who will show you like on cadaver bodies. Okay, so this is the ligament behind the knee, and every time you flex, this is what's happening, and you're just like, oh my god, that is so cool. Even though they're all gray and like they're dead bodies, it's still extremely fascinating. Or there's like nature things, or swimming with turtles. So there, you can either educate, you can entertain. Entertainment is pretty much self-explanatory. You can entertain,
Which is harder for professionals, right?
right. Or the third one, which is totally useless to probably everybody in with us now, is thirst trap. There are just people, guys and girls, who are just hot, just showing off their bodies on there. So that's not relevant to this conversation, but you can educate and you can entertain. Hopefully you can educate and entertain at the same time. So is TikTok a must? No. But if you are personable enough and you have a brand that's good enough, like, for example, I'm going to rep her again. Deb would be perfect on TikTok. Deb, that might be something we talk about to build out your content strategy. We might get you on TikTok soon. But TikTok could be very valuable for you. And it's a great way. Well, I don't have an audience on there. No one will like me. You don't know until you start posting the content there and cultivating an audience, right? So whatever you do on TikTok can be totally used for your Instagram Reels, can be totally used for your YouTube Shorts, and you can build your brand out with that short form video content. So nothing is a must, but it is more than just a nice to have. Please do not look at social media and content marketing, as I tell so many people, part of my network. Nothing is, these things, it's not 2007 anymore. Big businesses and even small businesses, personal brands like us, are not looking at social media going, well, we do a lot of SEO and we do a lot of email marketing. Social media would just be a nice extra. It would be a nice to have. It's no longer that. It is 2022 and it feels like it's going into 2050 next year. Like time is speeding by. Do you know what I mean? And we're accelerating further and further into the future. Social media is no longer a nice to have. It is a friggin' necessity. And if you are not waking up to it and you are not even tapping into like just doing video content, I still feel is pretty surface level. Like if you're not even doing that, Rex is right. You are being left behind.
Yeah, and I mean, I think TikTok is a great example, right? It's like, do you have to be on the TikTok platform? No. But I think if you're making videos, you better be making TikTok style videos, like you said.
That's a great,
9:16 vertical aspect ratio. Because where are most people? I mean, on TikTok, nobody's going to TikTok on their desktop. Maybe not nobody, but not very many people, right? So you're on your phone, and we don't hold our phones like this. We hold them like that. Right. Mm-hmm. So like you want to fill up the whole screen on someone's phone, you're going to record your video that way. Right. So what I like to do, I still think YouTube is a really viable platform. One of the things that I like about YouTube is like your videos have longevity. Yep. Right. And TikTok is getting there. Right. So the chat is kind of talking about that. TikTok is kind of becoming this search engine. People are searching for content there. But I mean, I still don't think it's all the way there yet, right? The way YouTube is, right? So YouTube is built out as a search engine. It's owned by Google. So when you Google stuff on the internet, like YouTube content shows up, right? So if you can make, especially for educational content, like if you're going to show people how to do something in Illustrator or show them how to make videos or show them about camera settings or whatever, right? I always like to start with the intent of having that be a YouTube video. So I'm going to shoot it wide, right? Because that's the YouTube platform. But I'm going to know that when I'm framing up those shots, I'm going to try to do it in a way that I can cut it into a vertical video and then take little snippets out of that long video and blast them to TikTok, Instagram Reels, LinkedIn. I don't know about what I think about vertical video on LinkedIn. Like the platform's definitely not optimized for it yet, but it'll get there, right? So that's something that you always want to keep in mind is knowing that if you're shooting a video wide, you're going to be cutting off a whole bunch of that video, so you want to make it still look good in that kind of narrow aspect ratio to go on all of the platforms, right? And one video, the same video can go to all of the different places, right? So if you're not on TikTok specifically, you can be on Instagram or wherever else.
And some people don't have the skills to edit the way you've just talked about. And that's why outsourcing is so key. I know I've disparaged and shat all over the likes of Fiverr and Upwork in my many ramblings, but I'm also a big proponent of them in the exact same breath. I'll shit on them and then I'll pump them up in the exact same breath because I hire Upwork freelancers all the time. Not so much Fiverr freelancers, but I hire Upwork freelancers all the time. And I have my video editor guy. And he's amazing. And he's helped me with so much, just shaping up, framing up my shots, the right lights, right, controlling the light like we just talked about without any of the natural light. I learned all that from him. Sound dampening, I learned that all from him. And for very reasonable hourly rates. I mean, ridiculously, like compared to American wages and Canadian wages, they are extremely affordable. And the knowledge that you get and the value and the fact that he's like on my team now is just like impossible to like let him go. And I can send stuff like that to him, knowing that that takes the burden off me, so I can continue to create them, so I can continue to record them. So I don't want anyone to feel despaired. Well, I don't have time to do that, or I don't even have the skills to do that. There are others with time and skills to do these things for you. That's why we hire them out.
Yeah, and I mean, I think a lot of people are going to see that as a barrier, right? They're like, oh, I got to go figure out how to hire somebody, right? So here's a quick tip to just be able to edit your own videos, right? So say you got a cool video, you shot it wide on your phone, you don't know what to do with it, right? So there's an app that you can download for free, not sponsored by this company or anything. It's called CapCut, right? CapCut, right? So you download CapCut, and it's like a really powerful on your phone video editor, right? So I take a lot of my long form YouTube stuff, and when I'm laying in bed at night, like not falling asleep, I'll just like drop a YouTube video into CapCut. I'll chop it up, just add a couple little cuts, make it vertical, export. I've got a video for tomorrow. I'll do it again, export. I mean, I can make like 5 videos in 20 minutes. So CapCut's a really awesome opportunity to be able to kind of do that yourself with no investment in software. It's on your phone. You can do it while you're sitting on the crapper. Like,
as Rex gets
instead of wasting time, right? That's where most of my video content comes from, is the bathroom. So
most of my original content, like my ideas, are in the shower. I'm just like, oh, that would be a good idea. Paper's not waterproof, is it? Fuck, and my phone's out there. I can't record this. I can't voice note this idea to myself. But yeah, that's a really good, useful piece of advice there. It looks like Caleb says CapCut's now owned by TikTok, so that's not product placement at all. That's not. Why is this not sponsored by TikTok? Or like, we got to get on their radar, Rex. We got to.
Yeah, we need to just start tagging them and everything.
Just start. Yeah.
So, I mean, TikTok is an interesting place. So, I mean, I don't know. Instagram is super saturated with people, right? There's tons and tons and tons of accounts. There's tons of accounts on TikTok as well, but TikTok is unique in that like a brand new creator or a brand new account or a brand new person on the platform can make a video, and their first video could get 500 views. Their second video could get 3 views. Their third video could get 1 million views, right? So I've got a client that's been on TikTok for like 3 months. He's got like almost 20 million views on his content.
That's crazy.
On a brand new platform that he just got on, right? Yep. So coming into TikTok with somewhat of a strategy, right? It doesn't have to be perfect, but like, this is the kind of content I want to make. This is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to try this out, see if it works. If it doesn't, I'm going to try this other thing, right? But like, you can get massive views on TikTok. You know, on LinkedIn, we're like, my post got 100 likes. I'm so excited.
Yeah, I'm famous.
TikTok, you're like, 10,000 likes on your 5th video, you know, and it's just like mind blowing.
What's important to remember about TikTok is that platform has its rallying cry, if you will. Its whole value proposition is you can do well there as long as people like you. They don't care about the production value of your video. They don't care if it's shit. As long as you are a good mix of nice and entertaining and you know, lovely and all those things. Like there's one of my favorite accounts right now is this girl. Have you met the farm girl who's just in overalls all the time? She owns the big emu. His name's Emmanuel, and she owns this farm of goats and cows. And Emmanuel is a live emu who just invades her videos all the time. She goes, I'm trying to record here. What are you doing? She's out of the way. He's like right here in the screen looking at things. She was just on like Jimmy Kimmel last night. I'm pretty sure I saw one of her posts saying, look, I'm backstage at Jimmy Kimmel's show right now, and I'm going to bring Emmanuel on right now. And it's just like nothing content, Rex. It's like it's a giant bird on a farm, right? Yeah. And that stuff, because we like him and we like her and they're a nice, wholesome kind of content, that stuff kicks off. She has like 40 million followers. If people just like you, if you show them you can get famous there. And it's not about fame, right? I get that, but like that's what the users on the platform are showing you as the creator. We like you. We like you. We don't care how high or how low your production value is. If you have the shiny RGB lights in the background, are you doing a job? Are you likable, right? Are you funny and quirky enough? That's what the platform is showing you.
Yeah, Nick. So what's your recommendation if, let's say somebody is, I don't know, I don't want to be like disparaging to anybody, but I mean, we were bashing on real estate agents earlier, right? I actually really like working with real estate agents, right? Yeah. They're fun if you get the right one. My cousin, you know, quit he's like me. I was an engineer for 13 years. He was an engineer, structural guy, master's degree in engineering. quit it all to become a real estate agent, right? So he's like,
Right on.
for an engineer like me, I would like to think like more personable than your average engineer, right?
Mhm.
And he quit that to become a real estate agent, and he's doing really well at it, right? But like,
Awesome. Awesome.
say you're a real estate agent. I don't know that you can be a real estate agent with not a lot of personality. So let's go. Let's pick CPAs or something, right? Some sort of like
Okay.
typically boring industry, right? Say I'm a CPA. I'm an owner of a CPA firm. I've got 4 or 5 accountants working for me. I'm trying to grow my business. I want to do video, but I work in a super stale office. I'm pretty boring. Like, I don't have a lot of spunk or personality. I'm not terribly exciting. If I'm going to talk about accounting on TikTok, it's not going to be crazy entertaining. What can I do to create content on TikTok?
Okay, you can do exactly what I'm doing. Even though I believe I have some of those qualities that you just mentioned a CPA might lack. My brother's an accountant, so I know exactly what you're talking about. He and I, if you put us in the room, you'd be like, you two are related somehow. Like he's super boring, dry, like just like he's just I can't explain to you how boring this guy is. I love him, but he's like super boring, exactly as you described. I would do exactly. I would recommend exactly what I'm doing, and you won't have to live in this method forever. But jump on the trends.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the sound trends, the music trends, the things that you keep seeing are repeated. There's one trend that's making its rounds, which is unstoppable. You know, the group of guys who are all surprised at what you do, and then they cheer, yeah,
Yeah.
like
Uh-huh.
dumbest things. It's called a duet. When you take that content that already exists, evergreen content, and you duet it. So there's a split screen, right? That's called a duet. So you would go to their profile, you say duet this, and then you can record your own thing against it. Instagram does the same thing. They call it remix. So if I make a reel, you can go and remix it, Rex, and then you're beside me as a remixed reel. And I want to talk about Instagram in 2 seconds too. But you can do exactly what I'm doing on TikTok. I'm jumping on trends that I think are interesting, sounds that I like, background music that I like, and I'm applying those trends to my own graphic design stuff. So when a client calls me at 10 o'clock at night and says, I need this, I'm just like, oh God. And then there's a sound that trends or a piece of music or something that's in the background. So because I'm using that or because I'm duetting that something that's already famous, these are easy things that you can kind of get your feet wet with in TikTok. TikTok doesn't feel so intimidating if you just kind of piggyback off of what other people are doing. And then that motivates you later when you've done 5 or 6 trend videos and you see the views go up and you're like, I could make an original piece of content now, right?
Yeah.
And you can hit record and then you can edit that down later and slap the subtitles onto it and all that stuff. But jumping on some of the trends, dipping your toe in the waters of TikTok, stealing the music, stealing the sound bites, researching what trending hashtags are right now on the platform, because it's the Wild West when it comes to hashtags there. You do not use the hashtags that you think actually belong in your niche. So if I'm using a graphic design and branding and all that stuff, you want to use other things you've never even seen before. Like you would never think to use these hashtags on Instagram or LinkedIn. TikTok is a different universe, right? It's in a different galaxy, right? But you
Mm-hmm.
can jump on the trends, the musics, the sounds, the even take inspiration from other funny people. Like, oh, I see what you did there. I can probably mimic that, right? And so you're going to jump on these trends, and then when you've done 5, 6, or 7 of these, you get comfortable with TikTok, and even the user interface isn't so intimidating. You know where things are now. You know how to get to the back end. Oh, this is pretty easy now, right? So that's what I would do. I would start with the trends, and then that helps you get acquainted with the platform itself, and then you can do more original content.
Yeah, one of the things that I think was interesting what you said there was like the more you do it, the more familiar you get with it and you start to become more comfortable, right? I think that applies platform agnostic, like that principle is true in whatever you do, right? If you want to become good at something or get famous at something, I mean, you can't necessarily control the getting famous, that's out of your control. Mm-hmm. But what is in your control is your effort, right? So if you're going to put time and effort into something, you're going to get good at it. And you're going to see results, right? So yeah, when you go to especially Instagram, when you go to Instagram, create a brand new account, like I know, because I just deleted an account with 7,000 followers and started fresh, right? And when you start fresh, like it's hard, right? Like, okay, I can go to LinkedIn and make a post and 5,000 people are going to see it. There's going to be some interaction, some comments, or I can like post the same thing on this brand new Instagram account and get like a like from my grandma and maybe my mom. Right? So like it's hard to like start new on a platform and it can be frustrating and it's hard, right? But like if you don't start today, you're not going to start tomorrow and then you're just going to be behind in 2 or 3, 4 years and you're going to, everybody right now is like, gee, I wish I would have started a YouTube channel 10 years ago. It's like, we're already getting to that point on TikTok where people are like, gee, I wish I would have, hopped on TikTok a year ago or 2 years ago, right? It's not too late now, but your competitors are on TikTok. Your competitors are on Instagram. They're on LinkedIn. They are out contenting you. So if you want to become that impression of like, when I need video, I'm going to call Rex. When I need a logo, I'm going to call Nick. When I need, whatever you want to be known for, start talking about that on video on all the platforms, right?
Yeah, like there's, again, the education and the entertainment factor. If you can just find not even the perfect balance, but if you can be one of these things, like you talked about the dry accountant. Like I actually have a client, Hannah. I do her video content. She's an accountant in Scotland. I don't know how I managed to get that. The power of LinkedIn, right? Just connecting with people. I don't know how I imagine to get a client in Scotland, but Hannah's lovely. She has great videos. She speaks well. She's right into the camera. Like she would do well on TikTok as well, even though what she is delivering is like, these are 5 things that you want to bring to your accountant. These are 2 things that every accountant will ask for you before you take a meeting. Just simple, barely, there's no entertainment value at all, but it's high value. It's really, really high value. So it's educational and people walk away from her. She's got like 500 comments every time. It's like, Hannah, I didn't know any of that. Thank you for telling me. I'll be prepared for our next meeting.
Yeah, there's so many professions out there that I think people know they need, but don't really know what that interaction looks like, right? So a couple weeks ago, I met with a lawyer, right? He bought a content package that I had donated to a charity, and he bought it. So we went and met to kind of like talk about what we were going to do, right? And like, it was pretty dry, like, not a ton of like crazy excitement about anything, right? And we were kind of just talking about what we could do. And I'm like, honestly, like, people don't know what he's a criminal defense lawyer too, right? Like, but like people don't know what that interaction is going to look like, right? They're like, oh crap, I just got DUI or got possession charge or whatever, right? They Google lawyer in my area, right? And it's like,
this is perfect. Like, I don't mean to cut you off, but like, this is perfect. Someone like that would be, here's what to do. My client just got a $300 speeding ticket. This is the first thing you're going to do. And I actually have, I'm so glad you brought this up, Rex. It was early 2021. I met her on Clubhouse. Remember when Clubhouse was like kicking off?
Like
and like,
5
does
minutes,
anyone even go on Clubhouse anymore? Who gives a shit if Clubhouse is around anymore? I met her on Clubhouse, and she actually is a lawyer and like small criminal claims lawyer. Like she'll go and rep you in like a very small court. Like my client got a $500 speeding ticket. We're going to make sure he doesn't get points, right? Like that's what she does. And her content was all, as soon as you get pulled over by the police, be as forgettable as possible. Make sure that of the 10 other people he's going to pull over to, he forgets you. Be nice, be pleasant. Don't argue with him. Don't say, oh, fuck you, officer. Like there's just the best information she could possibly give you. If he tells you to sign the ticket, you sign the ticket. It's not confirming your guilt. It's you are being forgettable to him. He's like, oh, okay, that was a pretty boring interaction. And then when it comes time to fight your ticket, which I'm suggesting you do, when it comes time to fight, he probably won't even show up to court because he's forgotten who you are because it happened 6 months ago. That's how you win. And I was like, that's like where was like all this advice when I was getting speeding tickets on like the 401 and stuff up here in Canada? Like, how do I like this is like the best information you can. She was dry and boring and she didn't have any of the entertainment factor either. And it was just high value stuff all the time. Like, why isn't this on TikTok? People would love this. 5 things to do the next time you get pulled over. Just don't argue, sign the ticket, walk away, make sure you're forgettable, go. I'm like, this is brilliant.
Yeah.
Just do that.
Yeah, and like he's in this world, right? So he's a criminal defense lawyer. He's in that world. He knows it in and out, right? But people who come into that world from the outside world have no clue what to expect. Right? So that's exactly what we talked about. It's like, okay, you have all this knowledge. Your clients have zero knowledge about what the interaction with you as their lawyer is going to look like. They have no idea what their interaction with the police, with the court, with anything. You have all of this intimate knowledge that is incredibly valuable to any prospective client that doesn't even know they're a prospective client until they get arrested or they get a ticket or whatever, right? So like your strategy is imparting your knowledge to those prospective clients in a way that is you.
Beautiful.
Right? Don't sit there and try to be me and blah, 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 blah. Like, do it in a way that's repeatable for you so that you'll keep doing it, right? If you're trying to not be authentic and fake something and like you're this like super dry person in real life and you're like, hey guys, blah, blah, blah. Like that's not going to work, right? But if you're sing-songy and bouncy, then do that, right? But like if you're a dry lawyer, be a dry lawyer, but create content that your ideal client will love to consume.
If we leave them with anything today, Caleb, sorry, Rex, I'm looking at Caleb's comment up here because I'm looking at the microwaving pizza fucking thing. I need to see what this microwaving pizza thing is.
It's a good video.
Well, now I'm going to go follow him because we're going to talk after this. We're going to follow each other. But if we leave people here with anything, Rex, it's that your video content gives the viewers very real data on what working with you would be like. It doesn't matter if you do one of those trend videos. I'm not even speaking in any of my videos right now. I have a whole bunch of awesome, like beautifully posh, like original created stuff ready to go. It's lined up. It's not coming out for another few weeks. But all the trend stuff, no one's heard my voice yet, right? But they're starting to see what working with me is like, right? Like I'm kind of wearing my graphic tees. I sit here in my chair. We have conversations like this. Show people in your videos, whether you're giving them high value, 5 things to do in your next, blah, 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 blah. You're just being funny. You're just being entertaining. However you show up, show them what working with you would be like. And then they're not caught off guard when they have that first discovery call with you. Oh, you're exactly who I thought you'd be.
Yeah,
okay,
like
let's get down to
if my Zoom call is going to look like this, I should look like this in my video content, right?
Yeah.
It's like when they get that Zoom call, they automatically feel disarmed, right?
Yeah.
They feel familiar, like, oh, I know exactly who Rex is because I've already spent 3 hours watching him on video talk to me about blah, 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 right? And when they get to that first actual either face-to-face, which is ideal, right, or a video call with you, it just feels familiar. And they're like, yeah, I know this guy. And that interaction of like first actual contact to like becoming a client is very, smooth transition.
Yeah, perfect, man. Have we covered everything? Is that good?
I mean, I think we've covered like tip of the iceberg, but for what I think we kind of intended to cover today with video, I mean, really, the other big takeaway is branding. It's funny because like we kind of intended to talk about brand, right? And we didn't even really talk about brand hardly at all, other than
we talked about putting their brand out on video. Yeah. It's your brand. I can't replicate it.
Yeah, and I think we talk about differentiating your business, right? Like in all reality, like there's no way to actually differentiate your business, right? Like if you do logos and graphic design, guess what? There's probably a million other people, like literally 1 million other people in the world that can do that job. And probably half of them are actually a better designer than you are. They can make cooler looking things, right?
The services that I do will not help me stand out. I will help me stand out.
Exactly.
You can go the cheaper route. I'm not the cheapest option. Go to Fiverr, go to Upwork. You might be dissatisfied, but you can save money. Or you can go way more expensive. Some of my mentors, I'm sure you know James Martin out of the UK, made by James. Yeah. He's an awesome logo designer. His work blows mine apart in many cases. I love his work, so I have no problem repping him. And if I could make the logos myself, if I needed a logo today, look at this guy, product placement. James, you owe us money. You owe us money for this. If this sells another book, but he's a great example of that. I'm somewhere between Upwork and James Martin kind of thing. The services that I provide will not help me stand out. Just like there's a million mechanics around, but I go to my guy because he treats me well. I know him, and I know I can rely on the service. People want to work with me because they want to work with me. People want to work with Rex because they want to work with Rex. There's a million marketing agencies out there. Why am I choosing you?
Because you're you.
Because you're you.
Right? That's the only real asset that any of us have is our you-ness. Right? So a lot of times, I'll get requests from people who are like, hey, I'm looking for a video producer for XYZ. We're talking to 3 or 4 companies. Would you mind sending us a proposal? And honestly, like most of the time I'm like, oh, cool. But then I'm like, you know what? Like, no. Yeah. Like if you're just putting me in a mix of like a bunch of other people, like I'm probably not going to outbid people on price. Right? Because I'm just not, right? I'm not like you. I'm not the cheapest option.
Not the cheapest
I'm probably not the best option, right? Because there's people out there with $100,000 Alexa cameras, and like I'm not that guy either, right? So it's like,
why don't you have a conversation with me, and that'll be my proposal.
Yeah, it's like if you want to work with me, let me show you why working with me is awesome and different. And if working with me is going to help you accomplish what you want to do, then let's work together. If not, then like, there's not really any point talking because I'm not going to get in like a pitching war with somebody. Like there's no point of that.
That's right. And how many times, let me ask you this, based on the content you put out, a mix of video and your GIFs and all that stuff, how many times, I'm sure it's not a million times, but how many times has doing what we're doing here, doing our content strategy, helped to close a client for you? like, has it come up in conversation? Well, I keep seeing you, and I actually need your services now. And yeah, it was between you and this other guy, but you are both very visible on LinkedIn. Like, I keep seeing you, so I was going to hire one of you, and then you got that client just because you said something better, or you came in with a better price or a better offer, whatever it is. But how many times can you think in your head now, Rex? Definitely the work I've been doing, showing up here, doing my video content, helped to make more money. I'm sure you can think of a ton of times.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, when I started my business, so I started this last year, right? Quit my engineering career, full-time, went creative. And like 100% of my effort has been on LinkedIn for the most part. And then I kind of like repurpose stuff here and there. But like now I'm kind of starting to like be specific in creating stuff for YouTube with the intent of making video for everywhere. But like outside of video specific content, all of my effort has been on LinkedIn, right? And like becoming visible on LinkedIn has become a huge asset for my business. Like I've gotten so much work and so many clients, and even people that like I knew already, like people know me as Engineer Rex.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not like make a cool video Rex. I'm not like design your logo Rex, you know?
Yeah,
so like
that's the Rex I know.
I have had to take this complete 360-degree pivot to like redefine who I am in people's minds, right? Because like I'm the product development engineer that's made a bunch of cool products that people know about, but like as an engineer, like nobody knows that you're the guy that's doing the cool thing. That's like nobody knows that, right? So you're just like the shadow. So I've had to like completely reinvent myself and become that guy to like where people think of video, they think of Rex. When people think of design and 3D design and 3D visualization or NFT creation or, you know, all that stuff that I do, it's like I do too many things, and that's problematic, right? Because I can't impression for everything.
Niche down,
right?
Rex.
So
that doesn't matter with you.
I definitely need to do that, right? But like, I can't be the impression for all of those things. It's just too much, right? But like that's really what you're trying to do with your video content strategy is like become the go-to person for the service that you do, but then be the go-to because of what you do, but also who you are, right? And that's beautiful. The real asset, right? So. Yep. It's like, I want to work with Rex because he's fun or because I trust him. I mean, trust, right? That's why we create content.
All of those.
You got to get known first, right? Before they start to like you, and then they start to trust you, and then they.
If anything, I can convince people to start doing video marketing because you will definitely help people understand your value proposition. That's it.
Yeah.
And if that doesn't help you get business, I don't know. You need a new value proposition.
Or figure out your value proposition because. Something I still struggle with sometimes because I do too many stinking things. Yeah.
Yeah, have less hobbies and interests, Rex.
Come on!
Honestly, like streamline your fucking life here. Enough with the fucking personality. Can you just be dull like the accountants we were
It's
talking
like
about?
multiple personality disorder for sure. I'm just like, the fun thing is like, aside from like all that cluster, I have a client that's still like product development client. So like half the day I'm like putting on a product development hat and I'm like engineering stuff still. And I'm like, this is killing me.
Right on.
So yeah, it's fun. But yeah, video content, got to do it.
I mean, I think we covered quite a bit, and hopefully people are more knowledgeable because of this. And it just reaffirms my belief. I like spending this time with you here because it just reaffirmed my belief that it's got to be done more and more often. And I'm not going to stop. I'm just going to keep doing it. Everyone's going to see a lot more video from both me and Rex, I have no doubt.
Yeah.
Practice what you're preaching.
A fun thing about doing these live streams for me is like, it's an opportunity to make video content and not have to do anything after the fact.
Yeah.
Right? It's like I make a video. If I want to, I can go in and like pull out some of those snippets of when I say something profound or cool or when Nick says something profound and cool and reshare that, right? So, I mean, I have no doubt that there's probably 50 videos, if not 100 videos from this single 45-minute live stream that we can pull out and make content out of, right?
Probably,
so
yeah.
It's like...
Yep.
It just goes, right? And it's finding the time to continue to do that is the hard part, right? But like once you start, you get that snowball rolling down the mountain. It's just like, can't stop it.
Just outsource your video to Nick or Rex and we'll sort it out.
Yep.
Sleazy sales tactics 101. Hashtag.
What you didn't know is this is a webinar and you need to join our program that we've co-authored together and it's a training platform.
I've already got all your credit cards. It doesn't matter, guys. You're going to be auto-renewed like 10 times over. Don't worry.
Yeah, I mean, we joke about that, but we probably should do that stuff too.
Eventually, just get our bolt-on thing for $19.99. Just go get our course.
I think you can buy a course on Upwork for like $20.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Don't sell Upwork here.
Yeah, agreed. All right, man. I think it was super rad. I hope
Yeah.
everybody enjoyed the stream. I don't know how many people are still with us. It looks like Deb is in it for the long haul. We appreciate you for being here.
Deb's the best. Deb is the best, without a doubt.
And yeah, I don't know. I never have a call to action for these live streams. Tune in next week for my maybe live stream again.
Well, one thing. I mean, this doesn't. I mean, Deb doesn't need this because we're already working together. But one thing I'd like to drop for people is, I'm sure you have one as well, Rex. I think to build out your video content strategy, I'm here to help you with that. So what we could do is we could drop. I don't know. This is Restream right now. We could both drop our Calendly or a call booking thing if people have more questions, if they want to just get to know what their content strategy might look like a little bit clearer, that would be good. And you can see if either Rex or myself are a good fit. If it's something you truly want to pursue, if it's something you truly want to get into, I'm sure, I don't know the ins and outs of your business model, Rex, but I'm sure we offer slightly different things to people. So it would be good to jump in a call with both me and Rex privately outside of this stream. And you can make a more informed decision, and you can get to see what we're both about. So if you need help with your video content and it's something that you want to do and you're just not sure how to figure it out, I'd be happy to leave my Calendly link to book a call with me, and I'm sure Rex would do the same.
Yeah, likewise. Yeah, certainly. I mean, I think most of you are watching on LinkedIn. That's definitely where we promoted the event the most. So certainly, connect with me if you're from Nick's network, if you're from my network, connect with Nick likewise. Yeah. And if you're totally new to either of us, which is unlikely because of all the video content on LinkedIn, like lives are the worst at like getting widespread distribution, right? But like if you don't know either of us, like
if
let's
you come
connect.
from my world, make sure you reach out to Rex and connect with him. If you come from Rex's world, connect with me. I'm super stoked to meet people all the time. And yeah, build up those connections, build out our network, and hopefully we can deliver. We should do this like again in a month. I don't know if you're doing this again every week on Fridays. I want to go live every Friday, but it's more fun with a buddy.
I agree.
We share.
My intention, is to have a live show at noon every Friday, and it's been hard for the last while, but I'm like kind of recommitting to just get over it and do it. So I'm excited for it, and certainly like we'll go through the chat and kind of pick some of the ideas out of here. But like if people make it to the end when they're rewatching this video and they've got ideas of stuff they would like to hear some video professionals or content professionals, creative professionals talk about, let us know so we can like take that and really get to know exactly what you would like to know, what you want to learn about, so we can help you learn and we can talk about it and we can take a deep dive into that strategy. So go ahead and connect with us and reach out and let's see how we can help each other and work together and all that fun stuff.
That's amazing. That's a good place to leave it off.
All right, I'm smashing end stream.